welcome everyone to this week's episode of Dads on Wrestling. First time the dads had an actual interview, and we have an awesome subject, the lovely and talented, for lack of a better term, Nick Madrid of Oklahoma. We wanted to bring Nick on after we had champion of Mach 1, Jarrett Matthews, on last episode of After the Bell, because it's supposed to be dads, we had no cameraman. So Jay stepped in, yay Jay. But I'm glad we had you, Nick, as a challenger tonight, or whenever this goes up. Great match between you two. That's one of the James Morgan had to ruin everything. I'm sure you'll get yours in time.
Definitely.
Yes. But I'm glad we have Nick because he's wearing the shirt that I was going to ask the first question about. First time I ever saw you was at PWG. We'll give a little plug to Gorilla, just a little one. And he came up and asked me, I'm going to Lance Storm School tomorrow. And I'm like, okay. Do you have any advice for me? What did I say? Do you remember?
I think you just more reassured my decision. You said, if anywhere to go, that was the place to be, and you thought I was doing everything I should be doing at that point.
Yeah. The phrase I remember saying was ears and eyes open, mouth shut.
Do you remember that now?
And he comes back, and now he's main event in Mach 1, and having a great storyline in NWA Hollywood. And every time I see it, I just kind of like my head just gets a little bit bigger. Like, see what I did. But you came back here. What motivated the decision to come back to California after training with Lance and coming to Mach 1 and going into NWA?
Well, Mach 1 just coincidentally is around the corner from where I grew up.
There you
go. But that necessarily wasn't the way it was going to go down. I was living in San Diego. I was there for school. I just graduated college, and I had every intention to move back to San Diego.
Okay.
But I had a few weeks left in Storms, and I sent an email out to a few schools, and Johnny and Mach 1 owner, he replied within probably 2 minutes is maybe a long exaggeration. It was almost instant. And I never heard back from the other places that quickly or at all for some of them.
Wow.
And so I was coming back home, and I started back in April 2010.
Yep.
And so far the rest is, I wouldn't say history, but the rest has been an awesome ride.
Like I said, you're a major storyline with NWA Hollywood right now because of the association with Mach 1 and everything, so that's got to be something to
it's more than I ever would have thought. It's quick.
What would you say is the most important thing you learned from Lance Storm?
So many things, but essentially kind of what Jeff said. I mean, it's just that sponge, it's Lance, of course you guys know who Lance Storm is, you know how he is, and that respect for the business, I'd say, is the number one thing. If you don't have the respect for this business, then everything else is not. You don't succeed if you don't have that. That's what I say.
And that's one thing that I've observed about when people talk about me and to a lesser extent the guys on the channel now. We have no respect for the business. It's like you have no idea how much we love guys like you and the guys that are in the business that ask us for help and advice. It's just like us really. It's like wow, thanks. We didn't have done much, but okay.
People. I mean, I don't know. People watch this, I think it's weird. Me asking you for advice, whatever it is. But I'm the guy who, anyone that's been somewhere where I haven't been yet, they're in front of me on that. They're the master almost. So if you've been somewhere I want to be, that's what I said. The whole decision to go to Lance is, Lance was a guy who's been everywhere I want to be.
Yeah.
So it's a no-brainer that's the guy I want to train with.
Exactly.
And that's why I asked you that question that night. That's why I asked Joey Ryan questions. I talked to Johnny Good Time about questions. I'm always asking questions, trying to learn to talk to guys, and they can give me that feedback and advice so that I can get to maybe where they are.
But now coming back here, he's like, oh no, talk to me. If there's one thing that you've learned here from Johnny and Joey that you really did pick up in Canada that has helped you out the most, what would you say that would be?
I think definitely it was just pulling together the package of tools that Lance gave me. You go up there, you're 3 months, you're in the ring every day, and when you're done, you're just way ahead of any sort of training there is around here. But I'm still, I have no matches under my belt, and I don't know what to do with these things necessarily. I have an idea of what I want to do, but I have no idea what to do. And coming here with Good Time with Joey Ryan, they got that, they saw where I was, and then they focused on the gaps in my game, and they made me improve. And they took all those things and put them together so it worked as a cohesive unit, and then that got me my first matches and kept going on and on and on. So I'd say that was the biggest thing. They just helped me bring everything together that I learned in those 3 months, and then every week that I train with them still, it just keeps getting better and and better, and they're always helping me get a little bit better every week.
So Clay was like around the clay at the Gorilla that night. Lance kind of shaped it, tweaked it a little bit, and then Joey and Good Time kind of perfected it and made it a nice little sculpture.
Yes.
All right.
Much like the scene in the movie Ghost.
Okay, well, I started out with a girly reference, so I guess we'll go with Ghost. That works.
I mean,
Okay,
you did
very
call
good.
me lovely.
I did, yeah.
What would you say were the biggest gaps once you got to Joey and Johnny? You said a minute ago that they kind of helped fill in the gaps there from Lance. What would you say were the biggest things? Because, you know, Lance always gets a bunch of crap about his charisma, and obviously you're an overly charismatic individual. Is that one of the things they helped you with?
Yeah,
Or
definitely. I mean, you have Joey Ryan. I mean, that guy,
Yeah.
everything. Bleeds, sweats, cries, charisma. Can you cry charisma? I think you can. So
Joey can?
definitely one of those. I think that's the biggest thing. You know, from Joey, charisma, that personality. From Good Time, you know, you can do every match is different with him. He has thousands of moves, and I don't even know how he has enough room in his brain for it.
Yeah.
Seriously. But I definitely think that's what it was. It's like I knew how to do things, but I didn't know how to do them with a purpose. I could give guys suplexes all day, but it doesn't matter. Joey and
Storytelling.
So Joey and Kevin taught me how to use the moves and the skills I was taught to effectively, you know, win matches.
There you go.
We asked Jarek this last week, and he said, I assume you've been here for most of the guest seminars and whatnot?
Yes.
Who's your favorite that came in?
And,
Or even that you may have had back with Lance's one.
Yeah, it should be. I'm sure you guessed
Raven was up at Storms, not for specifically Storm School, but the local promotion where Lance now is involved with. So,
learning from Raven.
Raven-
I'm gonna take a minute on that one. Wow.
the best thing Raven taught me, well, unfortunately, we're all too broke to attend the seminar.
Oh, damn.
We didn't have $45, which I wish I did, honestly. Like, I wanted to so bad, but he was kind enough after the show to tell me to not cut my hair. At this time, I had a good, it was about to the ears, and he said, he said, I said, hi, nice to meet you, and he's like, held me back in when I tried to walk away, and he's like, don't ever cut your hair, whatever you do. And I was like, I won't, no, I promise I won't. He's like, no, seriously, don't cut your hair, it's gonna look great on TV. And I promised him, I said I wouldn't, and here we are. But that's, you know, that's up there, that was great, just, you know, that little bit of wisdom. But from here, we've had so many great ones, you know, Adam Pearce is amazing. I think Christopher Daniels, another one. I don't
know about that one.
Yeah,
Wow.
Christopher Daniels, Funaki, another one.
Jarek mentioned Funaki.
And then Claudio. And I would say definitely, if I had to say, can I give the top three?
Sure.
Okay, definitely Pierce, because Pierce was early on, and like I said before, he helped me fine-tune those little gaps, you know, more so than I already was. And Pierce was great. That was the great thing for a first-time seminar. And then we had Christopher Daniels, great guy. I mean, amazing. And he just broke it down so simple. He had so many great things to say. And then, of course, you know, went a little bit further in my career. You know, this was a few months ago. We had Claudio, and I was lucky enough to wrestle him in my debut at NWA Hollywood.
That's right.
So it was nice because it was like, hey, buddy, you know, we're friends. We met before.
Yeah.
And you know, it was amazing what we did in 2 hours. I can hardly tell you everything we did. But it's just that guy is so amazing. He's a really good. I don't think he's underrated in the sense, you know, everyone knows. Everyone that knows about wrestling knows Claudio. They should. You hope so.
And if they don't, Google him.
But he's
Seriously.
And hashtag I want wrestling with Claudio, because damn.
Yeah, but he's a great teacher, great worker. Can't ask for better.
I was gonna say, go ahead, Jay.
Going over to NWA Hollywood, as we already touched on, you got this big angle going on with Chaos and the Disorder. And by my recollection, as of the last TV airing, you ran through 2 or 3 of their guys?
Yeah, 3 of the guys so far.
Okay, and eventually, obviously, Chaos is your goal. Where do you see things going as you approach Chaos? You know, like, who would you like to build up to before you get to him as far as who is in this Disorder? And then where would you like to go post-Chaos?
We've got a few guys in the Disorder that I haven't got a one-on-one yet. A couple of bigger guys. You know, so far, you know, we have Kyle Webb and Leo Blaze.
See here all the time.
But he's got a couple of giants in that little group of his. You know, he's got Kiki, got Tito Escondido, and you know, logic tells me those guys are next. bigger than me, they're probably stronger than me, but so it's 3 down, and however many they have to go. I'm not
It seems like they keep growing each week.
Yeah, I mean, how many?
Take me.
Yeah. And how many guys do they have? I don't care. Just to keep going, and eventually me and Chaos, hopefully be one-on-one again, and a lot of history behind that.
Where do you want to see yourself post-Chaos? I mean, obviously, Adam and the NWA title is a goal, but even before you get to him, are you envisioning Scorpio Sky in the TV title?
I always say that's a logical progression. Yeah, definitely. I was in that tournament, and some would say that I lost my round because of the disorder and chaos. And who knows what would have happened? Who knows if it would have been me in Sky, and then who knows if I would have got that title. So I definitely think there's a shot for that belt in my future.
Without going too, I said this last week too, I'm waiting in trouble. Without going too much behind the curtain, tell me about, briefly if you can, the whole concept of the ankle chaos. Because that is just seemed to almost Meacham on NWA Hollywood. Because you were one of the players and everything on there, and all of a sudden everybody's tuning to see how much Chris going to kick this order's ass. How did the attack happen? Everybody went,
Well, it wasn't even that. I mean, it goes further than that. I think he gave me my 3rd match in NWA Hollywood.
Okay.
So we wrestled there, and it was one of my closer matches. I was losing every match, every month on TV for a little while, and Chaos, I think, was the closest one that I came into in and out for that big win versus Pierce. And we had a good match then, and he still beat me. And then, of course, standard happens, they break up, and now we have a story as Chaos followers there. And then, of course, the interference. And so it's just, I'm trying to make my way up in the NWA, and he didn't want to see that happen. So we have some unfinished business there, and, one by one, I'm going to pick them off until it's just me and him left in that ring. And I'm not going to succeed until he's out of the picture.
Sounds good to me.
We're starting to get the wrap up. We're starting to get close to the end of our time here on this episode. Real quickly, my last question is, what would you say is the best match you've had today?
Someone asked me this last week. It was actually Joey asked me this, and I've had great matches with James Morgan. Definitely, I mean, there's no question about that.
I've seen a few of those here. Those were awesome.
Yeah. And they're not done either. We've still got still got a lot going on with me and James Morgan.
Especially what happens tonight at the show.
Definitely. And I'd say a recent memory, my last match in Mach 1, it was myself versus Ray Rosas. I thought we had a pretty good match together. Found myself with the victory, but it wasn't easy. But I'd like to do it again, and he's great. He's coming up, and he's making waves, and that was really one of my toughest and my most favorite matches today.
I think I missed that one, but I think you and Ray definitely complement each other in the ring.
All right, with that, I want to thank Nick for coming on the show. We appreciate it. Again, I don't know why. I'm such a dude. I'm so proud of how far you've come in. It's been a little over a year, right?
I think just about a year and a half.
Year and a half. Yeah. And he's already main event NWA shows and got a great feud. I can't say enough how just awesome it is. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time on Dads on Wrestling.